Welcome back. You're watching Storyboard. This Republic Day, Bisleri is celebrating India's unique diversity with the launch of its new ad campaign. Bisleri is launching its labels in regional languages through this ad film, which is conceptualized on India's diversity. We caught up with Anuraag Khandelwal, ECD and Creative Head, Soho Square, Mumbai, as well as Anjana Ghosh, who's Director Marketing and Business Development at Bisleri, to find out more about this campaign. Take a look.
I have with me today Anjana Ghosh from Bisleri and Anuraag Khandelwal from Soho Square, and we are here to talk about the new campaign for Bisleri. Anjana, Anuraag, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us, Ankita.
Thank you for having us.
Anjana, there couldn't have been a better time to launch the new campaign for Bisleri. Your whole narrative of one nation, one water resonates with the whole idea of the whole spirit of Republic Day. So, how did you think of this idea?
See, Bisleri is the most trusted and reputed brand. We have been around for almost 48 years now. In this entire 48 years, it's been our constant endeavor to understand our consumers and build relationships. While we are at it, we all thought that, language and the mother tongue plays a very emotional, an important role in a consumer's life. Although, like India, you have every state, you have a different language, but your own mother tongue, whether you are in the state of your origin or elsewhere or any part of the country, the moment you hear your mother tongue, you connect somewhere. And this is the best emotional connect that you could have. Looking at, this involvement that consumers have with the language, we thought, why not? Every state has a language in India. It's uniqueness of India. So why not have the labels for every state a different language? And that's how the thought came in. And we timed it in a way that we will launch this entire change of labels into multilingual labels at a time when India is celebrating the diversity. In fact, Republic Day is when the celebration happens of the diversity that India is into, and that's how it was all planned.
So Anuraag, what was the brief that was given to you, and how did you execute it?
Bisleri is a household name, right? And it already has the love of people, and what we wanted to do was to create, to amp that affinity even more, And when Anjana and the team came up with this whole thought of Bisleri in new language, I was blown out of my mind. I thought, wow. Like she said, that whole connection with the bottle or with the brand, when it is in your own language, is a different level of connection, right? So that's the brief that was given to us, and I think, 26 Jan, of course, we know is the day that India's constitution came into force, right? That's the day where India actually became a truly independent republic.
Yeah.
So the 26 Jan is a very loved and a pride day, for Indians, So my own personal experience of the Republic Day is that, you just love to see where India stands, right? Yeah. There's the army, the navy, planes flying, flowers being thrown at you, tanks coming and bowing in front of the flag. And of course the tableaus, and each and every state being represented in a beautiful way. Yeah? And that's where we thought we should use this as a platform to, kind of give our message of, the one nation, one water that, that truly Bisleri is,
Anjana, Bisleri for the first time is launching its labels in regional languages. So, why was there a need to do that? Because Bisleri is already a household name, all across the country.
As I said earlier, that it is our constant endeavor to try and understand and connect with the consumer. So this was one more attempt at that, how do I make my consumer much closer to the brand? And also there was a need because we got feedback from across, remote areas, etc., where they said that there were lookalikes of Bisleri, and so you had this spurious brand who always, had a Bisleri or a Bisleri somewhere, and it was a lookalike. So we wanted to address, in fact, both. In fact, the first priority was, of course, to connect with the consumer, because this is, as I said, this is a beautiful way to connect, that you have your bottle in your hand in your own language. And then, of course, to address the spurious brand, because at levels where English is not understood, it was a challenge to understand that what is Bisleri.
So what are you hoping to achieve in terms of business with this localized targeting, with this region-specific targeting?
And every idea has to translate into a business, a top line and a bottom line.
True.
That's the company's objective. But here, as I said, and as Anuraag says, that Bisleri is a household name. So more it was to connect with the consumer and make it, relevant to the consumer. And of course, I mean, we will see there will be, an upsurge in the sales. That's what we are expecting. And I'm sure in a short time we will see that too.
Sure. Anuraag, at the end of the day, you are selling something as every day as water. And you being the agency for Bisleri for the past 6 years now, how do you innovate, or how do you bring something new to the table each time?
So, Anjana, it's a challenge, and I think particularly with this example, I thought that naming, creating a name in regional languages itself is an innovation. So I think that way the client actually kind of eased our job in that sense. I think it's a fantastic innovation that when you have a label of your own language and you're drinking from it, it's a fantastic innovation. Also, what we try to do is that we also, apart from innovating in creative, so for example, here what we are trying to do is that on television we are trying to get a soulless break. So during news channels, when the Republic Day parade happens, we are attempting to put in this ad in between. So it just looks like a seamless Republic Day thing. It's a soulless break. It will be a break only for Bisleri. So we are trying to do attempts like that. We keep innovating on stuff like that. Anjana and team and RJC, I know, is a big, huge fan of playing with SKUs. So he's recently got a bottle called Rockstar. Which I think maybe Anjana should talk about that, because it's a beautiful innovation. And people just see it and they just want to drink it up. And I think that is a separate. I think Bisleri, as an innovation, Bisleri does it on their own so much that our job is honestly to make sure that the creative piece comes out as beautifully as their innovation is.
Okay. Yeah. So Anjana, what next? Like, how do you plan to take this forward? How do you plan to take the campaign forward?
Well, we have been successful so far, and we are there everywhere with this multilingual language. And of course, way forward is that the announcement has to happen. The first announcement is, by releasing this ad on digital media. We also have a contest, a selfie contest, where we would ask the consumers to participate on social media. We will use print, then POSMs across the country. Our truck bags, our trucks are a big walking, talking, I mean not talking, but walking hoardings. So we will have the truck bags where we will announce this, and every state will have a different truck bags, and Bisleri in your language is what will be announced. Except for, I think, ATL, we are there everywhere with this campaign.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, and all the best with your campaign. Thank you.
With that, it's a wrap on Storyboard for this week. You can catch all of our content on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. We will see you again at the same time, same place next week. Thank you for watching.